Hey, what's going on YouTube? It's your boy Isaiah back with another video. And today I want to talk to you about how faith bought me my new home. If you're new on this channel, hit that subscribe key. But without any further ado, let's get into it. A couple years ago, I believe, you know what I'm saying, that God was going to give me a house, you know what I'm saying? So I went and told my wife about it, and I started to tell her, like, you know, babe, God gave me a vision that one day he was going to give us a brand new house built from the ground up, brand new. This happened a couple years ago, and I realized that, you know, when you believe God for something and you have faith for something, you know what I'm saying, that there are, you know, times when it doesn't seem like it's going to come to pass. You know, and, you know, I just continue to believe it, though. You know what I'm saying? And in the process of moving forward, one of the things I realized is that when I gave my attentions to believing what God had promised me, you know, things begin to happen. And what I mean by that is that, you know, sometimes you got faith for something and, you know, you realize that, you know what I mean, along the way, there's other things that come in the way of it. You know, so you say you believe in God for a business. Say you wanted to start up your own clothing line and you believe in him for that. But in the way of that, you believe in him, other things come along, you know, and then you start to think to yourself like, man, I believe that I'm a businessman. I believe that I have what it takes to be a businessman. You get what I'm saying? And then your faith start to kick in because you know what God promised you. But I realized something along the way as I started to believe God more and more about what he promised me. One of the things I realized was along the way, the things that was being presented to me wasn't what he promised me. You know, I believe God for a brand new house, never lived in, built from the ground up. But what was crazy about this was that me and my wife had set out on an adventure to look for houses. You get what I'm saying? And in the process of looking for a house, you know, other houses came up. I mean, beautiful houses, but these houses were already built. These houses were already lived in. And I kept telling my wife, like, babe, God promised me that we gonna get a house that is beautiful, built from the ground up. She was like, babe, there's no houses where we are to be built. You know, it's gonna cost a whole lot of money. But I just remember what God had promised me. So to make a long story short, you know what I mean? This process was going on for about 2-3 years. And just this year, 2020, my wife and I went out looking for a house. And we found a house that we liked. Now, I never let go of the promise that God gave me. I agree with my wife. We sat down, we talked about, I said, you know what, babe, let's just go ahead and go for it. But I still believe one day God's going to give me a house built from the ground up. So, well, we got an agent and then, you know, we're looking for a house. Then we get a call from the agent saying like, okay, found this house. It's around the range you guys want. Let's go check it out. So we went to go look at the house. Now, you know, the house was okay. It was good. You get what I'm saying? But it wasn't the house that was promised to me. I mean, everything looked good in the house. I mean, it had the downstairs man cave. I'll be able to set up my studio. I mean, everything. But I just knew it wasn't what God promised me. You get what I'm saying? But along the way, I'm still believing God regardless of what I'm looking at, what I'm seeing, right? So I realized something in the process of that as well, is that you got to still believe it even if you don't see it. So, you know what I mean? That was the first house. So the second house, the agent called us. We go out, we go look at it. Beautiful house. Awesome. You know what I'm saying? We dropped the money for the inspection. The guy came out to inspect the house, everything was going to go through, but something was not letting us get the house. So, you know what I'm saying? We like, man, dang, you know, got discouraged for a little bit, kept looking. Couple months go by. We go to the third house. This is the third house of this year. So, and this house is closest to the one that we stay in now. So my wife went to go look at it. At the time I was working, and you know what I'm saying, she was like, babe, this house is it's awesome. It has your downstairs studio. You'll be able to set up your shirt press for your clothing, you know what I mean, everything like that. She said it's beautiful. It has the rooms we want. The color of the house is awesome. It's a beautiful house, babe. Let's get it. I'm like, okay, cool. So, you know, we did all of the paperwork, everything, you know what I'm saying? We're getting ready to actually put down on the house and all of this good stuff. But we had to wait for all the offers to come in before we were selected for the house. Make a long story short, the day of when we were supposed to find out, you know what I'm saying, who got selected for the house, the owner says that, oh, well, we have someone that hasn't turned their offer in yet. We're going to wait on them. And this is like, we're waiting all day. I woke up at 8 o'clock that morning and all the way until like 8, 9 o'clock that night, we're waiting. So you already know we on 10, we on 100. We like, we want to know, you know what I'm saying? So finally we get a call from our agent saying like, listen, you didn't get the house. You're like, man, we was believing for you. So when we got that call saying that we didn't get the house, somebody else got it, it just ruined us. We knew that this was the house that God wanted us to have, blah, 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 blah. So, fast forward a couple weeks, the agent calls back. He says, listen, everything didn't fall through with the people that got selected for the house. Do you guys still want it? So I'm like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? I called my wife like, babe, you know what I'm saying? He said the house is still good. We about to get the house, blah, 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 blah. So what happened was, you know what I'm saying? Like we getting ready to get back in the process of getting it and everything. And so, they opened it back up to the market and all of this good stuff. And so we reached back into it, you know what I'm saying? Because we was the next people on the list. The people who got the house or, got selected for the house didn't get it. So, man, we get back the report on everything that's wrong with the house. When I tell you that there were so many different things wrong with this house, but we still in faith. We still believing like, hey, we going to make it happen. We going to get it. We got to get this fixed. We got to get this fixed, blah, 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 blah. So we're still believing because this is the house that we like. It's awesome. It looks good. You know what I'm saying? They got all the rooms we want, but we didn't get it again. So I'm like, man, this is crazy, man. So my wife was like, babe, you know what I'm saying? A couple of days went by. She was like, babe, I'm depressed. And I thought that was our house. I thought this is what God wanted us to get, And I'm like, yeah, babe, you know what? We just got to keep having faith. Let's keep looking. Let's keep looking. So fast forward a week, my wife and her mom, they're really, really good friends. And so my wife was talking to her mom about it and everything. Come to find out, you know what I'm saying? Her mom knew about these lots that were opening up in the area where we stayed. So check this out. My wife is like, man, I'm going to go out and go check it out. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to go check it out. I'm going to see what it's like. So she goes out, looks at where the houses are being built. So she talks to the lady in this division where we going. Check this out. The lady said there was one more house being built in this neighborhood. It was the last house that's going to be built completely different than all the other houses. My wife said, let's do it. So we looked at the price. The price was actually really decent for a brand new house. So my wife was like, okay, let's go through with it, blah, 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 et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. She's like, babe, I found the house and you know what I'm saying, blah, 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 blah. Now listen, the house is not built. There's nothing on this lot but dirt. So I'm like, okay, babe, that's what's up. But at first I was kind of like, man, nah, the area, the location, blah, 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 blah. But check this out. When I started to think about it and the way that things was falling in place, everything was lining up with how he promised me in the beginning. And even though all those obstacles was happening, I just believed that by faith, he was going to give me the house. Never built, never lived in, built from the ground up, right? When you believe God for something and you're walking in faith and you're trusting him, you don't give up on what he said because eventually it will happen. Even though the obstacles are there and it seems like that you're not going to get what he promised you, faith will help you to continue to be of good hope and good cheer along the way. Oh no, I forgot to tell you. We got the house. So I want to encourage somebody out there. Listen, don't give up on your faith. Don't give up on believing what God promised you. If he promised you a business, hey, you know what I'm saying? Work hard at it and watch how things unfold. If he promised you whatever it is, if he promised you a faithful man, if he promised you a faithful wife, if he promised you, a job, believe God for it. Don't allow anything to rob you of your faith in God. God always will honor your faith and he will never question it. So listen, I encourage you to continue to trust God and believe God for what he's promised you. Listen, this is how faith has bought me my new house. Listen, if you're new on this channel, don't forget to hit that subscribe key and the notification bell. If you like videos like this, make sure that you hit the subscribe key for more and more content. Also, if you have any stories that you'd like to share, drop them in the comments. Let me know how faith has took you to the next level. But until next time, most definitely,